What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, Two Opinions on the Best New Music. And in this episode, we're talking about the album All Your Favorite Bands by Dawes. And we'll be exploring the big question, does the band sound like themselves or all your favorite classic rock acts? But before we get any further, we will kick things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
And a little bit about Dawes. They are a folk rock band based in North Hills, California. They've released 3 prior albums, all of which I would say are either good or great. They recorded this album in Nashville with producer David Rawlings, who's known for his work with Gillian Welch, Old Crow Medicine Show, Ryan Adams. They actually recorded it at the legendary Woodland Studios there in Nashville. And they opted for a decidedly live-sounding style, trying to replicate what happens on stage at their live shows. So let's talk about what it sounds like. Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, I think All Your Favorite Bands sounds like Anytime Lost with New Basement Tapes. Dawes found a fuller, more mature sound.
Ah, nice. I think it sounds like Dawes jamming with the Eagles, Eric Clapton, and Elvis Costello. If you can imagine that, that would be pretty awesome. Let's talk about some key tracks. What are you going with, Derek?
I'm going with album opener, Things Happen.
All right, I'm going with album closer, Now That It's Too Late, Maria. So start with the first bookend for us, Derek.
All right, well, this one kind of eases in at first with some soft floating electric guitars, which quickly turn into loud, spacey, rumbling electric guitars. These ebb quickly going into the verse, which is carried by a pensive bass riff, a soft percussion, and a lone vocal melody, which is mirrored by a piano riff, which kind of grows sharper into some more synth sound, or just harsher key sound in the second verse. The chorus features the loud, rumbling guitar riff from the from the intro. There's growing vocal layering throughout, which is really highlighted in the last chorus, where it really comes shining through. And, some of these louder guitars I thought were a little un-Dawes-like at first, but then we're at the end where it really comes to these rich layered vocal harmonies. I really thought, that's where like, yep, we're still a Dawes. At least that's the message I kind of got. The lyrics, thematically, I thought was kind of the equivalent of shrugging one's arms at least in this case, I think, a more than likely former lover. The chorus, lyrically, I thought was great. They say, let's make a list of all the things the world has put you through. Let's raise a glass to all the people you're not speaking to. I don't know what else you wanted me to say to you. Things happen. Which so led me to believe, like, the title may at one point have been blank or excrement happens, but Things Happen, I think, is better. It's going to sell a little bit better. So really solid track from the get-go, I thought, here.
Yeah, I dug that one too. I think it's one of the first singles they've released off the album as well. I'm going to go with the album closer, though, number 9. It's called Now That It's Too Late, Maria, and it opens with a really nice line that sets up the song really well. He says, the flicker of the candle looks like a one-way conversation, reacting to something nobody else could see. And like I said, it sets up the song, I think, because it's sort of the stream of consciousness, both lyrically and sonically. It explores the roller coaster range of emotions you experience when sort of think about a failed relationship. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. The song's bitter at times. It's funny. It's optimistic. It's ambivalent. It's romantic. Just all over the place in a good way. And the musicianship is impeccable. Everyone's playing on point, from drums to piano to guitar to bass to vocals, and even the organ. And they follow the song sort of where it leads, moodily. Anyway, we get this whole range of emotions. It's really nice. And it got a lot of strong Eric Clapton vibes here on this track in particular. And I thought it's just an epic end to an album. I think it's over 9 minutes long, and it really achieves their goal of creating a really live sound. It sounds like they're kind of jamming, taking some instrumental breaks here and there throughout. So a really nice feel overall. And I love when a band puts a lot of emphasis on the last song on an album. Sometimes people comes off as more like a demo that's not really finished, or just kind of half-assed in a different way. And this one, you can tell they really, really spent some time with it. So great album closer. Anyway, best lyrics. Derek, what do you got?
Kevin, I thought there were a lot to choose from, but I'm pulling one from all your favorite bands. And I guess I should give the quick disclaimer in, as you and I both kind of alluded to, emotionally weighty at times lyrically. This one is like the complete opposite of that. So I would just like to, put it in some context here. From all your favorite bands, he says, "When I think of you, you still got on that hat that says, 'Let's party.' I hope that thing is never thrown away." It's just, kind of a moment of optimism. And, I think he really captured, he made this relationship that he was writing about in this song very relatable, I thought. Because, who hasn't had that friend that has that "Let's Party" hat?
I think I may have been that friend at some time to you, Derek. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna call you out, Kevin, but yeah, I think you were for a little bit.
Yeah, like you said, there is a lot of emotional lyrics on the album as a whole, and Dawes is kind of known for that. I thought there were a ton of just one-liners and really strong gems, but the one that I picked out is from a track called "Somewhere Along the Way," and in the line says, "She was as new and as ancient as the solar panel hills." And I thought that line in of itself is very poetic, but even more so in the context of the song about a girl who can't seem to find her way and is kind of back and forth a lot. So really well done with that line, I thought. And here we go with overall rating and the big question: does the band sound like themselves or all your favorite classic rock acts? Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, I'm going to start off by answering the big question. Do they sound like themselves or all our favorites? Yes and no. I thought, kind of from negative, I guess at some points it did sound at times a lot like some of my favorite classic rock bands. Even though at the same time I thought there were still many times where the classic Dawes elements showed through. Lyrically, I thought also it was very strong, kind of made up for the shortcoming any of that I just mentioned. I totally agree with you, about a lot of the quick, clever phrases. One I had picked out specifically was the one you just mentioned, but then also from Right on Time, he says, "If these walls could talk, I'd defer to the furniture." Just I defer to the furniture, I thought was fantastic. So all that being said, I'm giving this one a really strong 4. I really liked it.
Awesome. I'm going to mostly agree with you here. To answer the big question first, so they sound like themselves or all your favorite classic rock acts, I think they sound like themselves playing in this style of all your favorite classic rock acts. They indulge themselves with longer, more expansive tracks, guitar solos, and instrumental breaks that really harken back to when you used to maybe hear 10-minute songs on the radio, God forbid. And I really like that they went there with that. They really let these songs ebb and flow and breathe as they should. Overall rating, I think they got a definite classic rock vibe to it, again, which I think is refreshing. Biggest miss for me was the female backing vocals. I can't think about it now. They just seemed really out of left field and unnecessary almost, like they were filling a void that didn't need to be filled. And I also thought while there were a lot of great one-liners, there wasn't so much narrative work here that Dawes is really, really good at on a few past albums. I think it's a great album for long, reflective drives, and overall, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. This is still one of the few bands that can keep you on the edge of your seat while playing slow folk rock music. So, yeah, there you have it. A collective 4 out of 5 from Derek and myself. That's an 8 out of 10. So definitely check this one out and let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to us here at Last Week's Album. And may all your favorite bands stay together. We wish that for all of you. As always, I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
See you next time, guys. Cheers.